Tonight I will talk about this good man and his fine record leading our country, and I may say a word or two about his opponent. I'm also mindful now that I have an opponent of my own. People tell me Senator Edwards got picked for his good looks, his sex appeal, his charm, and his great hair. I said, how do you think I got the job? On this night, as we celebrate the opportunities that America offers, I am filled with gratitude to a nation that has been good to me, and I remember the people who set me on my way in life. My grandfather noted that the day I was born was also the birthday of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and so he told my parents they should send President Roosevelt an announcement of my birth. Now, my grandfather didn't have a chance to go to high school. For many years, he worked as a cook on the Union Pacific Railroad, and he and my grandmother lived in a railroad car. But the modesty of his circumstances didn't stop him from thinking that President Roosevelt should know about my arrival. My grandfather believed deeply in the promise of America and had the highest hopes for his family, and I don't think it would surprise him all that much that a grandchild of his stands before you tonight as Vice President of the United States. It is the story of this country that people have been able to dream big dreams with confidence they would come true, if not for themselves, then for their children and grandchildren. And that sense of boundless opportunity is a gift that we must pass on to all who come after us. From kindergarten to graduation, I went to public schools, and I know that they are a key to being sure that every child has a chance to succeed and to rise in the world. When the President and I took office, our schools were shuttling too many children from grade to grade without giving them the skills and the knowledge they need. So President Bush reached across the aisle and brought both parties together to pass the most significant education reform in 40 years. With higher standards and new resources, America's schools are now on an upward path to excellence, and not for just a few children, but for every child. Opportunity also depends on a vibrant, growing economy. As President Bush and I were sworn into office, our nation was sliding into recession, and American workers were overburdened with federal taxes. Then came the events of September 11th, which hit our economy very hard. So President Bush delivered the greatest tax reduction in a generation, and the results are clear to see. Businesses are creating jobs, people are returning to work, mortgage rates are low, and home ownership in this country is at an all-time high. The Bush tax cuts are working. Our nation has the best health care in the world, and President Bush is making it more affordable and accessible to all Americans. And there is more to do. Under this President's leadership, we will reform medical liability so the system serves patients and good doctors, not personal injury lawyers. These have been years of achievement, and we are eager for the work ahead. And in all that we do, we will never lose sight of the greatest challenge of our time, preserving the freedom and security of this nation against determined enemies.
It appears that was a protester who caused a minor disturbance, not audible really to the audience. It's not clear to how many people in the hall, but that person is being given the bum's rush out of this hall right now.
Thank you all.
Security men are not in short supply in this building, around this building, and in this city.
Since I last spoke to our national convention, Lynn and I have had the joy of seeing our family grow. We now have a grandson to go along with our 3 wonderful granddaughters. And the deepest wish of my heart and the object of all my determination is that they and all of America's children will have lives filled with opportunity, and that they will inherit a world in which they can live in freedom, in safety, and in peace. Four years ago, some said the world had grown calm, and many assumed that the United States was invulnerable to danger. That thought might have been comforting. It was also false. Like other generations of Americans, we soon discovered that history had unexpected duties in store for us. September 11th, 2001 made clear the challenges we face. On that day, we saw the harm that could be done by 19 men armed with knives and boarding passes. America also awakened to a possibility even more lethal. This enemy, whose hatred of us is limitless, armed with chemical, biological, or even nuclear weapons. Just as surely as the Nazis during World War II and the Soviets during the Cold War, the enemy we face today is bent on our destruction. As in other times, we are in a war we did not start and have no choice but to win. Firm in our resolve, focused on our mission, and led by a superb commander-in-chief, we will prevail.